In every long and loving relationship, there are rooms. Rooms filled with decades of shared laughter, inside jokes, and cherished memories. But sometimes, over the years, a quiet room gets built. A room where certain topics are never discussed. A room where questions hang in the air, unspoken, because we're afraid the answers might disrupt the peace we've worked so hard to build. Perhaps you found yourself standing outside the door to that room. You still love your partner deeply, but intimacy has changed. You've noticed subtle shifts in your own desire, or you feel a quiet pressure to be a version of yourself you're not sure you are anymore. You're not alone. If you're a woman over 60 with questions about oral intimacy, whether you're curious, concerned, or just want straight answers from someone who respects your intelligence, you've come to the right place. This conversation is long overdue. Today, we're going to open the door to that quiet room, not with judgment, but with knowledge and compassion. My goal is to empower you, to help you feel confident in your choices, and to remind you that your intimate life at every age is profoundly yours to define. Welcome to ElderCare Insights. First, let's tear down a myth that has stood for far too long, a relic from your grandmother's time. It's the outdated idea that women over 60 don't think about sex, don't want sex, or shouldn't be having sex. This notion has silently burdened generations of women, creating a sense of shame or isolation around what are perfectly natural human desires. But modern research paints a vastly different, more vibrant picture. The National Social Life Health and Aging Project, a major study in our country, revealed that 37% of couples over 60 engage in oral sex regularly. That's more than 1 in 3 couples. So if you're having these thoughts, you are in incredibly good company. You are part of a quiet revolution of women who are refusing to be defined by ageist stereotypes. Think about it. Your generation broke barriers in the workplace and in society. You've navigated countless societal shifts. Why should your right to a fulfilling, honest, intimate life be any different? This isn't about being young again. It's about honoring the wise, experienced woman you are today. So let's talk science, because knowledge is power. When we discuss oral sex, we're referring to using the mouth to stimulate a partner's genitals, which can involve contact with seminal fluid. This is where many women have understandable questions. What exactly is it? It's not just one thing. About 5 to 10% of it is sperm cells. The vast majority, 90 to 95%, is a complex fluid made of water, a natural sugar called fructose, proteins, and trace amounts of nutrients like vitamin C and zinc. It's a natural bodily fluid designed by nature for a very specific purpose. Understanding its components helps to demystify it.
Now, this is where we need to clear up some dangerous internet myths. You may have heard sensational claims that swallowing it can improve your skin, help you sleep, or extend your life. Let's bring this back to reality. While it does contain tiny amounts of things like zinc, the quantities are minimal. Roughly the nutritional equivalent of a single spoonful of yogurt. If your goal is better health, a balanced diet, regular exercise, and good skincare will serve you infinitely better than any intimate act. Don't let unproven fads dictate your choices. Your body deserves real, science-backed nourishments. Let's be direct about the health concerns because this is where accurate, unflinching information can literally protect your life. Oral sex, like other forms of sexual contact, can transmit sexually transmitted infections or STIs. This includes serious infections like HIV, HPV, gonorrhea, syphilis, and hepatitis B. This knowledge isn't meant to frighten you, but to equip you to make safe decisions. This is especially important for women over 60 for several key reasons. First, your immune system naturally becomes less efficient at fighting off infections as you age. An infection that your body might have easily cleared in your 30s could become a more serious issue now. Second, and this is a trend we are watching closely in the medical community, HPV is on the rise in older adults. Recent data shows a concerning 32% increase in HPV diagnoses in people aged 65 and older. This is alarming because certain strains of HPV can lead to oral and throat cancers. The risk is not theoretical. Research shows that individuals with 6 or more oral sex partners have an 8.5 times higher risk of developing throat cancer. This isn't a reason to live in fear, but it is a powerful reason for awareness and protection. And third, many of these infections show no symptoms at first. Your partner could be carrying infection without knowing it, and you might not realize you've been exposed until much later. Let me share a story that illustrates this with heartbreaking clarity. I had a patient, we'll call her Eleanor, a vibrant 68-year-old retired librarian who believed she was in a loving, monogamous marriage of 40 years. She trusted her husband completely. Then, during a routine health screening, she was diagnosed with HPV. The diagnosis was a shock, but the deepest pain came from the realization that her partner had been unfaithful. The betrayal was devastating, but the health scare, the very real threat to her well-being, was terrifying. Eleanor's story is a powerful reminder that health and trust are inextricably linked, and that assumptions, however well-intended, can carry significant risks.
Now, let's address the elephant in the room, a quieter yet equally powerful form of pressure. Many women your age confide in me that they engage in oral sex not because they truly desire it, but because they feel an unspoken obligation. They worry about disappointing their partner, about being seen as cold if they say no. Listen to me carefully, because this is a fundamental truth I want you to carry with you. You are not required to do anything sexual that makes you uncomfortable, regardless of your age or marital status. Your body is your own, and your boundaries are sacred. Research powerfully supports this. Studies show that sexual coercion, even subtle pressure, can lead to significant emotional distress, including depression and anxiety. At your age, after decades of putting others first, you not only have the right, but the responsibility to put your own comfort and well-being at the top of your priority list. You have earned the right to say no without guilt. Think about it this way. If your daughter or granddaughter came to you and said her partner was pressuring her into something she didn't want, what would you tell her? You would tell her unequivocally that she deserves better, that true love does not require the sacrifice of her dignity. The profound truth is the very same principles apply to you. You are just as worthy of respect and uncoerced intimacy as any younger woman. So, if it's not about obligation, what does healthy sexuality look like after 60? The research offers a beautiful and affirming answer. It's a much broader, richer tapestry of connection. Studies consistently show that for women over 60, Activities like kissing, cuddling, intimate touching, and deeply personal conversations are often more closely linked to life satisfaction than intercourse itself. For many, emotional intimacy, the feeling of being truly seen and cherished, matters far more than specific sexual acts. It's about connection, not performance. I think of another patient, Dorothy. She married young in an era when intimacy was often framed as a woman's duty. Her first marriage was unfulfilling, marked by that same sense of obligation we just discussed. But in her 50s, she divorced and later entered a second marriage. It was in this new chapter that she truly discovered what intimacy could be. As she and her new husband entered retirement, they found time to explore what brought both of them joy. They rediscovered hand-holding, long embraces, and the quiet comfort of simply being physically close. Dorothy found a deeper satisfaction in this mutual, reciprocal exploration, a kind of connection she never knew was possible. Her story shows that healthy sexuality at any age is about mutual respect, open communication, and genuine desire, not obligation or fear.
Now, if after careful consideration you decide that oral sex is something you genuinely want to include in your intimate life, here's how to do it as safely as possible. This isn't about fear, it's about empowerment. First, get tested regularly. This applies to both you and your partner. It's not about distrust, it's an act of mutual care. Second, use protection. Barrier methods significantly reduce your risk. This includes flavored condoms for the receptive partner and dental dams. A dental dam is a simple square of latex placed over the vulva or anus during oral sex. They're a simple, powerful tool for protection. Third, pay attention to oral health. If you have any cuts or sores in your mouth, or even recent dental work, it's wise to wait until you're completely healed. Any open wound can be an entry point for bacteria or viruses. And finally, trust your instincts. This is your most important form of protection. If something doesn't feel right, physically or emotionally, it is always okay to stop. Your inner wisdom, honed over decades, is a powerful guide. Listen to it. Navigating these conversations in a long-term relationship can be challenging, but it's the key to a deeper connection. Here are some strategies that have worked beautifully for other couples. Start the conversation outside the bedroom. Choose a neutral, low-pressure time, maybe over coffee or on a walk. Frame it as an opportunity to understand each other better and deepen your connection. Focus on what you do want, not just what you don't. Instead of saying, "I don't like X," try phrasing it positively. "I really love it when we take time for cuddling and kissing." This feels less like rejection and more like an invitation to a different, richer form of intimacy. And remember that good relationships evolve. The intimacy that worked in your 40s might not be what you need or desire in your 60s, and that is perfectly normal and healthy. Healthy relationships are not static, they adapt. This evolution can be a source of profound strength and renewed connection. As we wrap up this vital conversation, I want to leave you with this fundamental truth. At 60 plus, you have earned the absolute right to make decisions about your body based entirely on what feels right for you, not what others expect. Whether you choose to engage in a specific act or not, whether you are sexually active or not, these are your choices, driven by your desires, your comfort, and your values. The research is clear. Sexual satisfaction in later life is far more about genuine emotional connection and mutual respect than it is about meeting someone else's expectations. And please remember this deeply important truth. Love doesn't require you to sacrifice your comfort, your dignity, or your health. A partner who truly cares about you will unequivocally want you to feel safe, respected, and genuinely enthusiastic about your intimate life together. Anything less isn't love.
It's something else entirely, something you, with your wisdom and experience, absolutely do not need to tolerate. You deserve relationships that honor your whole self. Settling for less is a profound disservice to the strong, capable, and wise woman you have become. What you're feeling isn't weakness, it's feedback from a body that wants to come alive again. What would it mean to feel like yourself again? Let me know in the comments. We read every single one. If you're ready to stop feeling invisible and start feeling present again, subscribe to ElderCare Insights for honest, empowering health advice from someone who respects where you are.